Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I introduced this amendment in partnership with my friend from California, Mr. DeSaulnier, who I serve on the Rules Committee with, but who I also serve on the Transportation Committee with. I've got a poster here, Mr. Chairman, of what it looks like when the foam is released to prevent a fuel fire in an airport hangar. If you can't tell from where you're sitting, this is the tail of the airplane being lifted up above the foam. As currently drafted, I certainly agree with the ranking member. This bill is much too expansive. But in this one limited case, it doesn't go far enough. Our building code enforcement agencies locally, our local fire codes require that in order to have a hangar permitted, it must have these fire suppression systems. But what we found in our research, Mr. Chairman, is that more often than not, these systems go off unintentionally. In fact, in the last 16 years, there have been 174 hangar foam releases like this one. Only 37 of those were in response to an actual incident. The other 137 were accidental releases. If we're concerned about these toxic chemicals, certainly having them available for a dire firefighting need but released accidentally advantages no one. And in fact, even in the 37 incidents that were in response to a fire event, none of those were in response to the fuel fire event that the building code requires these systems be installed to suppress. So what my amendment does, Mr. Chairman, in partnership with Mr. DeSaulnier, is to say when we're having these conversations about how to restrict the use of these foams, we need to have the FAA present in those conversations, and we need to have the local enforcement authorities for fire and building code safety present in those conversations to prevent these types of releases, again, that advantage no one. It is an opportunity to take what is a very well-intended effort to reduce the use of these chemicals and reduce it even further. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I reserve.